growing up,
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody has a story behind the success.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who were your mentors that helped you overcome obstacles when you were growing up?
Well, you know, my parents, you know, I've been blessed with good parents who helped me make good decisions. I didn't always make decisions based on the advice they gave me, but I made enough of good decisions based on that advice, and it's been really helpful. My parents both were high school dropouts that went back to school. My dad didn't graduate from college until he was 43 years old. Just real tough, hard-working people that, you know, showed me the merits of sticking it out. So they, you know, they're just working class, hardcore go-getters, and you know, they instilled some of that in me.
What has been your greatest obstacles on your road to success?
I would say my biggest obstacle has been probably resources. You know, coming from a background with limited resources, it kind of slows you down. Right. Even though you don't lose focus, you don't always achieve things as fast as you think according to your own timetable, because you don't have the resources that perhaps some other people have. So I've had to be very resourceful with using resources that I do have and trying to reach out and find additional resources to help me be successful.
Gotcha. At one point in time, you was a star track athlete in a college somewhere. Where was all this at?
Yeah, I ran track at Charleston Southern. We were a D1 track team. I graduated in 1982. I got recruited as a pole vaulter, and you know, you talk about being resourceful. I got my college scholarship because of my ability to be resourceful. My coach said, we need somebody to pole vault. Who will do it? I raised my hand because I was intrigued by it, but he didn't know how to coach pole vaulting. Nobody knew how to do it. We knew we needed an athlete. So I went to a sporting goods store and bought a book on pole vaulting and taught myself how to pole vault, and ultimately got a college scholarship as a pole vaulter. And when I went to college, they discovered some of my other talents, so I ended up being a hurdler, a high jumper, and a long jumper, and actually threw the javelin some. So I had some skills that I didn't really know about until the coaches at Charleston Southern discovered them, and I was able to score points in a lot of different events throughout my 4 years at Charleston Southern.
Life game, that's a teachable moment. He was doing something else. He overcame a hurdle, learned to do something else, and became good at it.
Yeah.
That's a life game.
Yeah.
So you graduated, and the next step in your career, from what I understand, is you became a general manager of Burger King.
Yeah, actually, a little bit before that, when I got out of college, I had 2 part-time jobs. I was racing bicycles too at the time.
Bicycles?
Yeah, I was racing bicycles.
You could race bicycles?
Oh yeah.
Whoa, you're showing your age now.
I was a bike racer.
Yeah. A bicycle racer?
Yeah.
Like you hop on a bike. This is not a motorcycle. This is a bike.
No, I did criteriums and road races. Traveled around. I lived down in Charleston, South Carolina, but I traveled up here in North Carolina. We did the Tour de Moor down in Southern Pines, the Durham Criterium. This was back in the probably 82, probably 1983. So in order to build good bikes for cheap, I got a job in a bike shop to build nice, high quality racing bikes on a budget.
You ever think about Tour de France?
No. You know, I was never into the really ultra endurance type races, but I did criteriums, which are fast and short. You know, they're usually like 20 miles or so. And I did a few road races, you know, 50 miles, that kind of thing, but never really thought about anything like the Tour de France. I mean, that's a whole nother level of athletics right there. I mean, you have to start that young and be totally dedicated to it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Talk about what you learned from being a general manager at Burger King.
Well, you know, when I came along in the Burger King system, we were owned by Pillsbury, and in that Pillsbury system was a really high quality management training program. Pillsbury at that time owned Godfather's Pizza. I was there when Herman Cain was there. We were in sister companies owned by Pillsbury. He was at Godfather's Pizza. I was at Burger King.
And both were owned by Pillsbury.
Both were owned by Pillsbury at the time. And they had
For those that don't know, Herman Cain ran for president in the last cycle. He didn't even get past the primaries. They kind of ran him amok. But now he's hosting in place of Neil Bortz in Atlanta, Republican Talk Radio.
Yeah, very smart man. Very smart man. Did a really good job at running Godfathers. But Burger King was one of Pillsbury's companies, and they had a really, really good management program. And I learned quite a bit about how to run a business from every aspect of running a business.
Mm-hmm. What happened after you decided to say goodbye to Burger King?
Well, I decided that I didn't want to work for anybody else. And I was working for Burger King. I had moved up through the ranks pretty high. And Burger King got bought by Grand Metropolitan, which is a British conglomerate. They own Alpo Dog Food, Bailey's Liquors, a couple of other major brands. They bought Burger King, and the people in the Burger King system who had been climbing up the ladder were looked over for people from other brands that Grand Metropolitan owned. Mm-hmm. So there was kind of like a glass ceiling there for us guys. And when Grand Metropolitan bought Burger King, they reorganized it, and some of the VPs lost their jobs. My VP lost his job, which kind of left me in limbo, and I was offered to go back into operations, which is where I started running restaurants. I was offered a district manager position, and I opted to take a severance package instead. I asked the human resources if I could take a severance package and just leave, because I wanted to work for myself anyway. So I walked away at 29 or 30 years old with a good little chunk of cash, and that's the last time I've had a job.
At what point in time did the love of your life, because you've been married for how long?
30 years.
30 years. That is a life gain all to itself. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, to be married 6 months in today's society, you're doing better than Kim and Kanye. Yeah. But to be married 30 years?
Yeah.
My goodness. So talk about when the family came into your life throughout this whole process of you evolving into the person you are now.
Yeah. Well, first of all, Terry and I both are Christians, and we believe that marriage is to be guided by biblical standards, which means to death do you part. Mm-hmm. So that's why we've been together for 30 years. That doesn't mean it's been easy.
Right. Believe me, I'm married too. I'm fortunate to be married.
Yeah, and I am very fortunate too. But Terry and I met on the day that I put up the performance that got me my college scholarship in the pole vault. Yeah, we were at a track meet, and down in South Carolina, where we were from, like I said, there weren't many pole vaulters. And because I was pole vaulting so high, a crowd had gathered around to watch me do it. And my wife was one of the girls that was in the crowd, and I got the phone number.
Let me guess, you put on a special show that day, huh?
Yeah, I did.
You probably went higher than the Empire State Building that day.
I tell you what, and that was the first step in my march towards success, if you can call what I've accomplished success, because that performance got me my college scholarship, which took me to Charleston Southern, where I got my college degree, and where I hooked up with Burger King, that moved me to Greensboro and moved me to middle management, to a point where I was able to get a severance package big enough to start my own business. Wow. And that's what led to where I am right now.